Algebraic division. Learning intentions. Divide polynomials by x plus a or x minus a using the box or array method. Check answers by multiplying back. Success criteria: I can. Write terms in order. Use a zero term if one is missing. Set up the box and fill it so the totals match the polynomial. Read the quotient across the top and state any remainder. Multiply divisor by quotient to check my answer. Example 1. Divide 2x cubed plus x squared minus 13x plus 6 by x plus 3. We're going to use the box method, which is also known as the array method. So we're going to draw out 6 boxes. So we have 3 columns and 2 rows. So 6 boxes in total. So how many boxes to use? Well, typically you're going to be using 6 boxes for these questions. But specifically, you need to use 6 boxes if the highest power is cubed and it's being divided by an x with the highest power of 1. So an x cubed divided by an x to the power of 1, you're going to use 6 boxes. So the dividend, so what we're dividing into, is degree 3, which means the highest power is 3. So the dividend is degree 3. And the divisor is degree 1. So the highest power of the divisor is 1. 3 minus 1 is 2, which means the quotient, so our answer will be degree 2. So the highest power will be squared for the quotient. So if the highest power will be 2, then the quotient will have 3 terms in it. So there'll be an x squared, an x, and a constant. So the quotient times the divisor is 3 terms times 2 terms. So that's going to be 3 columns times 2 rows, which is 6 boxes. So if we have x cubed divided by x to the power of 1, you're going to end up with 6 boxes. And that's what we have here. But typically this is what you're going to have to draw out if you are dividing something that looks like this. So step 1, we fill in the first box with the first term. So the first term of our dividend, 2x cubed, goes into the first box. Then we're going to draw in our quotient, which is x plus 3 at the side. So we have x and then plus 3. So we write in the factor terms on the left side. So the factor or the divisor, whatever you want to call it. So we're going to try figure out what goes here, this blue question mark. So what multiplied by x will give us 2x cubed? So x multiplied by what will give us 2x cubed? So what we're going to do here is we're going to divide. And I've drawn in the little division symbol because for any of these boxes along the top, we are going to divide. So that's a little reminder for you that you divide for any of these boxes. 2x cubed divided by x is 2xxx divided by x. That x will cancel with that x and leave us with 2 x's. So we get 2x squared as our answer. So x multiplied by 2x squared gives us 2x cubed. Therefore, 2x squared goes on top of our box. So that's the first part of our answer. That's the first part of our quotient. Next, we're going to move down. So typically with these questions, we go down and then we go diagonally across, down and diagonally across and down. And we will finish with this last box. So we're going to move down now. We're going to try figure out what goes in this box. So here we're multiplying. 3 multiplied by 2x squared gives us something. 3 multiplied by 2x squared gives us something. So 2x squared times 3 gives us 6x squared. So 6x squared goes in that box. We're going to go diagonally again now. So we're going this way. And we are trying to figure out what goes into this box. And this time we're going to add or subtract. So the first thing we did was we divided. So you saw the division symbol here. Then we multiplied. You saw the multiplication symbol here. And now we're going to add or subtract. and they are always the steps. It's always in that order. So divide first, then multiply, then add or subtract, and then you repeat that. We want to try and figure out what's in this box. We want to think, well, 6x squared plus what will give us the second term in our dividend? So will give us plus x squared or plus 1x squared. So 6x squared plus what gives us x squared? And remember, x squared is 1x squared. So it's going to be minus 5x squared here. So remember I said we add or subtract here. So just be careful, because when we say we add on a term, you can be adding on a negative term, and that's what we're doing here. So 6x squared minus 5x squared is 1x squared. So minus 5x squared goes into this box. So we go again, we repeat the process. We're trying to figure out what goes on top here. So you can see I have the division symbol drawn in. So we want to have a think about how we are going to go from minus 5x squared. We're going to divide by x, and we want to figure out what the answer is. So minus 5x squared divided by x, and what does that give us? So another way of looking at that is saying, well, x multiplied by what gives us minus 5x squared? So x multiplied by what gives us minus 5x squared? So x multiplied by what gives us minus 5x squared? So minus 5x squared divided by x is minus 5xx divided by x. Those x's will cancel, and we're left with minus 5x. So it's x multiplied by minus 5x gives us minus 5x squared. So the minus 5x goes on top. And that's the second part of our answer, the second part of our quotient. So then we move on. So we've done our dividing. Next is going to be our multiplying. So you'll see a multiplication symbol here. So we're going to do 3 multiplied by minus 5x gives us something, and that something will go into this box. So 3 multiplied by minus 5x gives us something. So 3 times minus 5x gives us minus 15x, and that goes into that box there. So we've done our division and our multiplication, and now we're going to go diagonally and do our addition or subtraction. So next we want to figure out what goes into this box. So we're going to add or subtract. So minus 15x plus or minus something should give us our next term in our dividend, which is minus 13x. So minus 15x plus or minus something will give us minus 13x. And that's going to be plus 2x. So minus 15x plus 2x gives us minus 13x. So plus 2x goes into this box here. So we've done our adding or subtracting. So then we go on again. So we're back to our division now. You're going to see a division symbol here. So we're trying to figure out what goes into this box. This is the last part of our answer, the last part of our quotient. So x multiplied by what gives us plus 2x. X multiplied by what gives us plus 2x. So to figure that out, we're going to divide. 2x divided by x will give us the last part of our quotient. So x multiplied by what gives us 2x? Well, we can rewrite that as 2x divided by x. The x's will cancel, and we get 2. So it's x multiplied by 2 gives us 2x. So we're going to put the 2 on top. So that's the last part of our quotient. So that should be plus 2. Plus 2. So x multiplied by 2 gives us 2x. So we move down again, and now we are doing our multiplying. So we've done our division, now we're doing our multiplying. So 2 multiplied by 3 gives us what? 2 multiplied by 3 gives us what? And 2 multiplied by 3, or 3 multiplied by 2 gives us 6. So 6 goes into the last box. And that's exactly what we wanted, because we know we are correct, because 6 is our final term. So this is how we know we're right, because we got back to the start. We got back to our question. So the final term of our dividend should be our answer in our final box. But we can just double check we're right by multiplying out the box. So our answer is 2x squared minus 5x plus 2. So that's our quotient. So we believe that 2x squared minus 5x plus 2 multiplied by x plus 3 will give us 2x cubed plus 1x squared minus 13x plus 6. So let's check if that's right. So now we check by multiplying. X multiplied by 2x squared gives us 2x cubed. Yes, it does. That's correct. 3 multiplied by 2x squared gives us 6x squared. Yes, that's correct. X multiplied by minus 5x gives us minus 5x squared. Yes, that's correct. 3 multiplied by minus 5x gives us minus 15x. Yes, that's correct. X multiplied by 2 gives us 2x. Yes, that's correct. And 3 multiplied by 2 gives us 6. Yes, correct. So here's our answer. So 2x squared minus 5x plus 2 is our quotient. So that's our answer. Example 2. Divide 4x cubed minus 13x minus 6 by x minus 2. Notice this time we only have 3 terms in our dividend. We are missing the x squared term. So what we have to do to work this out is add in 0x squared. So we rewrite our question as divide 4x cubed plus 0x squared minus 13x minus 6 by x minus 2. So again, we have the highest power of x in the dividend is 3. So x cubed is our highest power there. So we have a degree 3. And we're dividing by degree 1. So this is x to the power 1. So whenever you're dividing cubed by x to the power 1, you're going to have 6 boxes. So you'll have 3 columns and 2 rows. We start off by putting the first term of the dividend into the first box. And then we draw in x and minus 2 to the left-hand side of our boxes. So that's our divisor or factor. We always start with divide. We're going to divide 4x cubed by x, and we write the answer on top. So we want to think, well, x multiplied by what will give us 4x cubed? So x multiplied by what gives us 4x cubed? So 4x cubed divided by x is 4xxx divided by x. The x's will cancel, and we're left with 4x squared, which we draw on top. So we have it on top there, 4x squared. So then we move down, and we're going to do multiply next. We do multiply next, 4x squared multiplied by minus 2, and we put our answer in this box. 4x squared multiplied by minus 2 gives us minus 8x squared. So that goes into that box. Then we go diagonally, and we're going to try and figure out what goes into this box. So next we add or subtract. So we started by dividing, then multiplying, and next we add or subtract. Minus 8x squared plus or minus something has to give us plus 0x squared, the next term in our dividend. So minus 8x squared plus or minus something will give us 0x squared. And minus 8x squared plus 8x squared gives us 0x squared. So plus 8x squared goes into the box. Then we go again. So we are back to the start. We're dividing, then we'll multiply, and then again we'll add or subtract. So dividing is next. Trying to figure out what goes on top. So 8x squared divided by x gives us something. So x multiplied by what gives us 8x squared. So x multiplied by what gives us 8x squared. So 8x squared divided by x is 8xx divided by x. Those x's will cancel, and you're left with 8x. So x multiplied by 8x gives us 8x squared. So 8x goes on top of our box, plus 8x. We move down now, and we're going to multiply. 8x multiplied by minus 2 gives us what? Minus 2 times 8x gives us minus 16x. And minus 16x goes into this box. So we've done our division and our multiplication. Now we're going to go diagonally and do our addition or subtraction. So going diagonally, we want to figure out what goes into this box. We're adding or subtracting now. 16x plus or minus something must give us minus 13x, which is the next term in our dividend. Minus 16x plus or minus something will give us minus 13x. And it's going to be plus 3x. So plus 3x goes into that box. So we go back to the start now. So we're dividing next. So we see our division symbol there. We're dividing next. 3x divided by x gives us something. And our answer goes on top. So likewise, we can say x multiplied by something gives us 3x. So x multiplied by something gives us 3x. 3x divided by x, the x's will cancel, and we're left with 3. So x multiplied by 3 gives us 3x. So 3 goes on top. So we've done our division. Next is multiply. So we're moving downwards. 3 multiplied by minus 2 gives us our answer in our final box. So minus 2 times 3 gives us minus 6. So that goes into our final box. It's always a constant in the last box. And this is how we know we're right, because minus 6 is our final term in our dividend. There's another way to check we're right by multiplying out the box, and we'll do that now in a second. So our answer is 4x squared plus 8x plus 3. So this is our quotient. So let's check if we're right. We're going to check by multiplying. 4x squared multiplied by x is 4x cubed. That's correct. 4x squared times minus 2 is minus 8x squared. Correct. 8x times x is 8x squared. Correct. 8x times minus 2 is minus 16x. Correct. 3 times x is 3x. Correct. And 3 times minus 2 is minus 6. So now we know we're right. So our answer is 4x squared plus 8x plus 3.